Prophet ﷺ saw Moses on Isra al-Mi'raj, and he was being very harsh in some type of communication in his grave at Kathib al-Ahmar. And the Prophet ﷺ asks Jibreel, who is Musa speaking to? And Jibreel says, Allah. He's speaking to Allah. And the Prophet ﷺ says, speaking to Allah in a very harsh manner. He can do that. And Jibreel alayhi salam said, Allah created Moses, and he knows the nature of Moses. Allah don't take it personally. Moses is being himself, true to himself, alayhi salam. Okay? But the Prophet alayhi wasallam, that lean, he's being true to himself. That rahmah, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, when he said he was a mercy to the world, he's being true to himself, salallahu alayhi wa alayhi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Had you been harsh, created harsh, hard-hearted, created with a hard heart, they would have dispersed from around you. And فَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. Okay? فَعْفُوا عَنْهُمْ. Look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. فَعْفُوا عَنْ men. Who should you pardon? Afu. Who should you have afu for? And who's he speaking about? Yani, bad people. That's who we're speaking about. Those who are against prophecy. Allah ta'ala saying the reason why they're even giving you play is because of your innate nature. Then Allah says, فَعْفُوا عَنْهُمْ. Not فَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ. فَعْفُوا عَنْهُمْ, first and foremost. What is that? That erase it from your memory. Don't take anything personally. Don't hold it against. That's what afu is. Afu is higher than forgiveness. Forgive is that you forgive but you don't forget. And when Allah Ta'ala forgives, He forgives but He doesn't forget. He just puts a veil. That's all He does. Afu. Allahumma innaka afu. Oh Allah, you are afu. Name of the Divine Jalla fil Ula. He forgives and He forgets. That's what afu is. And that's what Allah Ta'ala is telling the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Said, fa'fu anhum. Wastaghfir lahum. And if they show afu and seek forgiveness for them, then what's even ajib? Shawirhum fil amr. Take their counsel, seek their advice on matters of what type of people. This is prophetic. What kind of the rest of that last one is the reality of hilm. These are the three darajat of what? Although there are five, because Allah Ta'ala is ghafir, Allah Ta'ala is ghafur, and Allah Ta'ala is ghaffar. These are different degrees of Allah's ghufran, of Allah's forgiveness but not forgetfulness. Jalla fil ula. Afu is the fourth degree, higher, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives and forgets, obliterates it. You sin, with Allah's afu, the sin's wiped out. Doesn't manifest on the day of judgment. Hilm is when Allah Ta'ala yubaddil as-sayyi'at al-hasanat, Allah Ta'ala, where He transforms bad deeds into good deeds on the day of judgment. Kaif kalam, you come with bad deeds, Allah will show you, innani halim, I am the halim. All them bad deeds you have are transferred into good deeds, as the Prophet ﷺ said. A man comes before one of the people, judged before Allah Ta'ala, Musnad of Ahmad ibn Hanbal, that a man comes before Allah Ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala says, show him his minor deeds, duna kibariha, and not his good deeds, not his major deeds. Show him his minor sins and not his major sins. Show them. He asked the angels, Jibreel and Mikael. So they manifest all of his what? All of his minor deeds. All of his minor deeds. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, the man, for yushfiq ala kibariha, he's like, oh, please don't show the major deeds, because these are the minor sins. Don't show the major sins. And then the Prophet said, he starts doing this, like looking round on the day of judgment, and Allah Ta'ala says, don't worry, between me and the khalaiq is a veil. That's ghufran right there. That's forgiveness, ghufran. I put a veil. It's only me and you. No one else can see it. So that's a good sign. And then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says to the angels, He says to the angels, now take all of their minor deeds, their minor sins, transform them into good deeds. And every single one of his minor sins are transformed into good deeds. And then the man says, Allah, I have deeds in li a'mal la araha huna. He said, I have deeds that I can't see here. Yeah, he wants to see his bad sins now, his major sins, because Allah can transform them into major good deeds. And then the Prophet ﷺ began, that's what he put in the chapter of the laughter of the Prophet ﷺ. He smiled, ﷺ, when he recounted that tradition, that reality of the Day of Judgment. That's Halim. And the Prophet ﷺ here is al-Hilm, Sahib al-Hilm, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahu Akbar, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sahib al-Hilm. Then when Allah Ta'ala was so concerned about that attribute of hilm, on the third splitting of the chest of the Prophet ﷺ, at 12, when he was 12 years after prophecy, 52 years of age, when they take out the heart of the Prophet ﷺ, Jibreel and Mikael, they wash it with iman, they wash it with hikmah, faith and wisdom, and they already did that in the 2 previous splittings of his chest, but this time it's very different. They also wash it with hilm, hilm. The attribute we're speaking about now. What is hilm? When people do you bad, you do them good. That's what hilm is called, clemency, to be clement. Allah Ta'ala is the clement. And Allah Ta'ala commands clemency from His slaves. And the Prophet ﷺ in the hadith of Zayd bin Sa'na, the great rabbi of Medina, who becomes Muslim, that's what he was looking for. He said, Araftu. He said, I knew all of the signs of prophecy in the face of the Prophet ﷺ alone, except 2. The 2 all related to that one attribute of hilm. That if you do him bad, he will do you good. And the more bad you do him, the more good he will do you. Ajib, huh? It's really strange. But the power of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you will take an avowed enemy and turn him into waliyun hamim, Allah ta'ala calls him. A warm, protecting friend. You will take people who wanted to kill you, and then you will turn them into people who will die for you. And that's what you see, that's the prophetic life story.